ADEL, Baron of Night, is the first enhanced boss to appear in Elden Ring Night Rain, and is a dentist's worst nightmare. Hi boys, I'm Chris Crass. I've beaten this monstrosity multiple times solo and with teams, and I'm here to bring you an actually useful boss guide. Now, starting it off, we'll be immediately jumping into phase 2. 1, cause you're probably here for the Everdark Sovereign, and 2, cause it's arguably the most important phase. In this fight, you'll notice that the boss has several moves that try to put distance between you two. And whenever you see this, do not chase after him, as the boss is designed to come back on its own, and that doing so will most likely result in you wasting your time and running out of stamina. So instead, take this time to either heal or rebuff if possible, saving your stamina to punish the boss when it returns. Speaking of which, when running away, the boss always does one of two moves, either the dragging jaws, which you can dodge into after the jaws hit the floor, or the running headbutt, which you can dodge when you see his head tilt slightly. From there, the boss can do 3 moves when coming back. If he waddles all the way back to you, he'll either do the double chomp or the walking chomp, both of which should be rolled backwards. But if he closes his mouth like this, he'll do the leaping single chomp, which should instead be rolled into. Moving on, let's talk about his grab attacks. The first one is whenever his jaws are wide open. This move is telegraphed whenever the boss has his head pointing upwards as you hear this grab sound effect, and should be rolled into after you see the jaws hit the floor. The only other grab he has is the double grab. This one is telegraphed whenever the boss leans to the side while burying its teeth. The dodge timing on the first one is a bit obvious and should be dodged after you hear the sound cue. However, the second one comes out way quicker and should be dodged immediately as you hear the sound. By the way, you probably already know this, but rolling into the grab restores ult charge. Combine all the things we just learned, and we get ADEL's roaring combo, which specifically causes the boss to do the headbutt runaway into the single leaping chomp, and double grab immediately after. So yeah, heads up if you ever see the boss start roaring. Also, if the boss reels to the right without making a sound cue, he'll do this electric double bite, which you can either dodge twice or strafe depending on your positioning. Anyways, once you see ADEL start stomping around like crazy while emitting a purple aura, make sure to run away, as the boss will soon conjure a massive shockwave. Though, it's not as big as it may seem. That said, don't relax just yet, as 2 lightning bolts will soon spawn at your location before the boss f***ing dive bombs you. He likes to do this as a phase transition in the normal fight, but can also do it periodically in both phase 2 and phase 3. To avoid all this, I like super sprinting away as soon as I see stomping. Then I'd slow down but not stop, to avoid the tracking lightning and to regen stamina, before paying attention to when the fisher's lights become about this bright and jumping it. Trust me, it's not as complicated as it sounds. Speaking of the fissures though, they can also appear more commonly throughout the fight whenever the boss slams his head on the ground. These activate much faster than the dive bombs version, so jump them soon after they appear. This attack has 2 variants: the single slam version, which just happens on its own, or the combo version that is telegraphed with an added roar before the first slam, and follows it up with a headbutt and 2 more slams. Now for this attack in particular, what I like to do is to navigate to the back of the boss if possible, and from there, punish every single fissure with a jumping attack. But instead of aiming for the main body, I aim for the tail, making sure the slams can't reach me. Position yourself correctly and you'll never actually have to dodge the slams and only have to worry about jumping the fissures. Also, if you happen to be in a bad spot, for example the front, I recommend just hopping away from the boss and focusing on not getting hit. Now with all that said, let's move on to phase 3, where the enhanced version starts. When reaching around 60% HP, the boss will then do 2 scripted moves back to back. The transform, where it'll absorb some kind of energy before zipping around a bit, and summoning the shockwave, before immediately rising up again, doing the tornado summon, which explains itself. Trust me when I say this, but whenever either of these 2 moves happen, just lock off and super sprint backwards. The light show is meant to scare you into panic rolling, which is what actually gets you hit. Also, here's a few fun facts about the tornado before we move on. 1. Unlike the transform, which can only happen once in the entire fight, the tornado can be recasted after at least 1 minute after it's fizzled out. 2. The tornado itself lasts 1 minute. And 3. When running away while the tornado is being summoned, look out for the lightning bolt with the furthest radius from the purple beam of light, which is the Eye of the Storm by the way. I've tested this multiple times, and it's never been far from where the Spirit Spring will spawn. But anyway, let's talk about its general moveset. Now I'm not gonna lie, besides the damage boost the boss gets, and a few tiny modifications, the boss's entire moveset remains the exact same. When writing the script for the previous phase, I specifically made sure that everything I said can all be applied here as well. The way you approach this fight is the same, and all the dodge timings have not changed. Sure, you're fighting in an enclosed space, but honestly this is more than enough. The boss only willingly leaves the circle when it does a runaway attack, which you shouldn't chase in the first place. Sure, the bites have AoEs now, but you've always dodged them anyway. I guess the only real change is that the dragging jaws and the single leaping chomp now have a full body AoE, which I guess you should roll if you didn't already, and also that the single fissure slam is now much more rare, and that the combo version is much more common. The move itself, however, is literally unchanged. What I'm trying to say is, don't let a little makeup scare you. You've done this before, you can do it again. With all that said, after about a minute of being in the tornado, the boss will then do the stop move once more. Don't worry about being boxed in though, as ADEL can only do this move after the NATO has fizzled out. And the rest is just a shockwave combo we all know and love. Also, that the next 60 seconds of the fight will be NATO free, assuming the boss doesn't die first. Finally, before I end this video, I want to talk about a few miscellaneous things. 1. The boss has a 50% resistance to lightning and a 20% resistance to fire, meaning you should avoid these elements if you want a quick fight. 2. Poison in Phase 2 and beyond isn't nearly as effective as it is in Phase 1. It probably still procs faster against this boss, and I've been told that maybe it takes more poison damage, but I don't know. As it stands, it's nowhere near as drastic as the stunlock it does to the boss in Phase 1, and thus, if I'm purely doing an enhanced version of this boss, I wouldn't be stressing out trying to fight a poison weapon. Okay, wait. I just found this out while editing, but it seems like the boss does increase damage if it ever manages to grab you. Neat, I guess. Anyways, back to the video. And 3. When comparing the numbers, it seems that the face takes about 50% more damage compared to the rest of the body. People have asked me if this is worth exclusively focusing on the head, and to answer that, I don't think so. It can be nice for bonus damage on longer openings, but can be a massive risk, especially in Phase 3, where the boss can potentially two-shot you. Though if you're playing solo, make sure to smack it a bit before reposting. And yeah, that's the ADEL guide done. If this video helped you out, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Spread the word that actually useful boss guides do exist, because I need to feed my cat. Here's the full fight for anyone who wants it. After that, I'll briefly talk about Phase 1 for all the nerds. But for most of you, I hope you have a great day. Dude, this boss is crazy fucking fun. If you know what the fuck is like going on, if you know what the fuck you're doing, holy shit. Didn't even think I didn't even. Wait, did I heal? Wait, you're actually still here? Damn, okay. Phase 1 is basically a super slow and clumsy version of Phase 2 with less moves. So instead of re-explaining the entire phase, I'ma just give you the bullet points that point out the difference between Phase 1 and Phase 2. 1. The boss doesn't pursue you after running away immediately, so instead, you want to chase after him, but only about 70% of the way, cause that's when he'll remember you exist. 2. ADEL doesn't have the double grab yet, and because of this, the boss loves spamming the single grab. Like, a lot. Also, here the roaring combo ends with the single grab unlike the other phases. 3. The head slams do not cause fissures. Also, the single slams are very common, and that the combo is rare. 4. The reeling double bite does not have electricity. 5. No stomping or shockwave to be found. And finally, 6. Poison destroys this phase, causing the boss to enter this unique puking animation where he accelerates all the poison damage done to himself on top of leaving himself open for you to punish the heck out of him. Like, it's genuinely so good, I had to start fisting the boss for B-roll cause poisoning him once kept instantly starting phase 2. Anyways, that's about it. It's 3 AM for me right now, and god, I am so tired. Have a great day everyone, I'm gonna go pass out now. Man, why'd they have to shadow drop this boss like that?